Hello everyone, welcome to Press Box. John Carter, and today we're here with Jim and Elizabeth Barrett. Welcome.
Thank you.
And you're here to talk about the St.Clair Junior Golf Association tournament coming up.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about the tournament, when it started, how it got going.
Yep, no problem. It was about 9 years ago. It was a couple people that got together, inspired by Jerry Emick, who is a local legend in town for various reasons, but he's also known for golf. When he was a youngster in town, he started growing up in Pine Shores. He actually used to swim across the river with his brother to play Pine Shores. Then,
having the image of dragging golf clubs across
exactly.
the river.
And then he actually got to be so good that he entered in some state and national amateur tournaments. He still holds the course record at Pine Shores at 29. So after so many decades, I don't know, 80 some years plus, he still holds a record. So it's pretty phenomenal. So him and Dick Groff got together and another gentleman, and they said that there is no avenue for a younger junior golfer to play in a competitive field. Most junior golf tournaments start at around, say, 13 is typically the starting point. And so what we did is we got together, they got together, and they put together a kind of an informal thing. But that informal thing turned into a monster real quick because they found that there was a huge need for this. A lot of people wanted to play competitive golf. There was some clinics around to kind of learn things, but then that was it. You got to go out and play with grandma and grandpa or mom and dad, or somehow get out and play a round of golf. So this tournament turned into what it is today. And several years ago, Dick Groff asked me to kind of come in, and he was kind of like, okay, I've got it going, but now I want to move on. And so he's still on the committee. And now we've developed this, and I took it to the next level where I said, okay, well, this thing's going, so let's make it real. And so what we said is, let's have this an all-day event, and let's make it an extremely fun event, but an actual competitive event, and then let's see if we can do it for practically nothing. And that's a challenge too, because most junior events that you go to around the state area, some of those events can cost $70, $80 just to play in the event. Plus you have to have an entry fee or a membership of a couple $100. So you're not even hitting a golf club, and you could be $300, $400 into it. And so we said that, in fact, we wanted to start a nonprofit organization because we wanted to have the financial pressure off. We want to say, if this child wants to take up golf and become a young lady or a young gentleman, and that's what golf is about. It's about honor and integrity, and that's why we're involved. I'm trying to teach this to my daughter, and I think most of the people that are into golf, they get it. And how do you pass that on to the next generation? And that was kind of the key or the core of what we're trying to accomplish here. Let's not worry about financials. Let's worry about honor, integrity, what the true meaning of golf. Golf is an extremely unique sport. It's probably the only sport that if you're 80 years old, you can compete competitively with an 8-year-old. And by the time you're into your, say when the kid's watching this, when you're old, okay, the only sport you're going to be playing is golf. So it's such a wonderful thing. And so what that involves then is creating an environment that allows the opportunity for that key element to be passed on. And so what we do is we've created a tournament that allows local heroes of the game to come in and kind of be mentors for the day, to maybe drive that spark to a child that has already gone through a clinic and says, wow, I can play this game competitively. I can have fun, and if I try and if I exceed and excel, I can actually get an award for my accomplishment, which is great. So what we've done is we've created this environment. Then we said, well, let's step it up further. Why don't we just have this a really competitive kind of field to make the juniors that come in here, and we have every year we have close to 100 of them, let's make them feel special. Well, how do we do it? Well, why don't we just mirror what the PGA Tour does? So from dawn to late afternoon, we basically host a mini PGA Tour event. From the time the kids come in the morning, we have volunteers escort them. We take their golf bag and say, you know, I had one of my volunteers said, well, Tiger Woods never carries his bag, so you shouldn't either. So it really makes them feel special. We have roped off areas that contestants only. Okay. In these areas, and when they come in the morning, they're warming up. On the putting and chipping, we give them a nice, you know, snack breakfast at leisure. They can grab something, and they're warmed up, and they're finding out that they're on stage. They're in this roped special area. Mom and Dad, they can go in the galleries, and the city provides us bleachers so that we have bleachers that fill up to watch the event. And so it's all based on tee time, and so we have this foursome, and we have a host Meg Benson. She comes in and she gathers these kids, and they start introducing, and then we have a special guest, the mentor, the master of the day, the scorekeeper, the marshal, special marshal for the event, and then this person gets introduced to this foursome, and this is a very special person. It's a club champion, it's a club pro, it's a college coach, it's a retired PGA professional. We have several wide-ranging, all with the unique understanding of that they want to try to pass this on to the next generation. And that group of 5 people gets escorted to the first tee, and just like they do on the PGA Tour, we have Fred Shaw, who's our master of ceremonies, with a speakerphone and a loud PA system. He announces each junior golfer, where they go to school, what kind of accomplishments they have, if they've played in this tournament before, if they've won this. You know, Jim Smith from St.Clair Middle School and has, you know, won this in the age division last year, and then all the galleries applauds, and he's ready to tee off.
Oh, that's really neat.
And then each of the scorekeepers, they get announced their bios, so that this foursome really understands, and the audience or the gallery understands. Wow, there's an actual, we call them legends of the game, that are going to spend their time to escort these players around the course for the day. And they act as scorekeepers and rules officials. And so everyone's playing on the same level field. The lack of or the knowledge on the other side, if they're good at understanding rules, etiquette, and so forth, it's on a level playing field. And then we have the gallery that passes around the course with the players. And as they come in, the bleacher seats, the gallery can see the players coming in the last hole, and they can also see them going off on the first hole. And then when they get off the first hole, or after they putt out, they come in, and we have an official scoring tent with a computer and register book, and we have several officials that look over the scorecard, and we have them each sign it just like they do on tour. And then it's logged in, and then they wait for the results. The results are, there's several groups within an age division, and we start at age 6 to 16. And so there could be 4 groups that are that age division. There could be 10 groups. It depends on how the tallies come in. But they all wait for that division to come in. And then we have a master, overall master PGA professional that is the overall tournament master. And we have the score sheets that come in, and we announce the winners. We get pictures of, you know, as a group shot of the age division. We have first, second, and third. Our trophies are, we order real golf flags, and they're embroidered, and then we have the year and age division on it. So those are the prizes, and every kid will get we order a custom bag tags. So just like you would at you know, when you have your outing somewhere at a course, and most of the time if they give you a nice little bag tag, we do the same thing. And then every kid gets a little goodie bag. And then we have provide lunch for everybody. It's a really nice, you know, good hot dogs and ice cream and pop and so forth. And then toward the end of the day, all the divisions now are done. We probably have, depending on the age groups, we may say 10, 12 divisions. And the winners of each of those divisions come back for a live press conference, which Channel 6 hosts. We also have local reporters come in, and then they're in the hot seat. Then we put them behind a big microphone on a white tablecloth, and their score sheet sits behind them, and we grill them with the paparazzi cameras and so forth, and that is probably one of the highlights of the day, because a lot of people throughout the day, they're watching their grandchild or whatever play, and but they really don't get that overall perspective. So when they come in and they have these division leaders and they tell their stories, it's just a wonderful experience, and actually the media loves it because they don't have to spend the whole day kind of trying to filter out and take a picture. They get everything's right there, lined up, ready to go, and the parents love it. We usually get 40 people just sitting in that room, just listening, and it's just a great event.
I can imagine. So Elizabeth, you're involved very much with the scorekeepers, and so how do you recruit them, and what's the pitch to get someone to participate?
It usually starts off with my dad knowing a few people.
Okay.
He's got all the local knowledge of the pros, old pros, people that have played golf their whole lives in St. Clair, young, old. There's a whole range of people, usually friend of a friend kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'll call them up and I'll say, hello, this is Elizabeth Barrett. We have a St. Clair Junior Golf Tournament. We know you're a golf legend, a golf pro. You've been on golf your entire life. You're either a college golfer, high school golfer. Would you like to be a scorekeeper for our tournament? And usually they say, oh, well, when's the tournament? And, well, it's August 9th. And then I ask them a few questions to get the little bio. Like my father said, we have a little bio for our website, and also it gets announced, so they feel special. So usually it's best moment, hole in one, if they've ever had one. The kids love to hear those stories as well. It's a good time for everybody.
Oh, that's cool. And I can imagine, I mean, as you said, you start pretty early, Jim, with some of the younger kids. They're not going to know a lot about the rules of golf or how it actually works. Probably have never played in a real competitive, play the ball as it lies. So it's got to be interesting for the scorekeepers handling the younger kids.
Yeah, and I, not that I'm this world legend of understanding, but my perspective as a parent and try to be separate myself as a parent as a rules official. My experience was growing up with Elizabeth. She actually plays college golf now. So she started, and we've been all over the state with all kinds of different circuits of juniors, and I've seen over the years how these different tournaments are successful and how they are failures. And so it's heartbreaking that if it's not kind of gingerly monitored, it can get out of hand real quick. And what's nice is that this takes the pressure, the way we operate, it takes the pressure off of everybody. You don't have to have that mom or that dad get involved, and then it's he said, she said, this. And for the kids that really, really try, they don't want to be like, how do I handle this? I don't know how to. This takes all the pressure off. Yes. This is the leader. He's well known. Everybody knows his character. Everybody knows his story because we announced on the first tee. Right. And so you would not believe how successful and how, because it's probably every sport. Everybody wants Johnny to win or wants Johnny to be special or whatever. Well, we create this environment that it's the perfect environment, and it makes everybody, you can just sense it. Everybody following, watching, players, it's just relaxed. It's great. So even if you don't know much, or even if your ability isn't there, it's going to be on a level playing field.
I was going to ask you, so I mean, I would expect, especially again with the younger group, some of the kids haven't played a lot of golf. Do you still encourage kids to come out and play?
Yes, because what we do is with the youngest age group or division is it's a shortened course. Okay. We play basically 5 holes, and each of those holes are shortened. So I've had countless people come up and say, the same thing. It's like, you got to remember, at that age group, probably, unless you have some sort of phenom or whatever, 99% of the kids are in the same boat.
Right.
You know, they haven't been able. Well, that's why we created this, because from 6 to say 13, there's nothing. So we created an environment that allows them not to be intimidated. The hardest part, in fact, literally, I talked to a person today that they were, you know, she doesn't want to necessarily sign up, you know, and I could tell that there's this animosity that, you know, I don't know. No, relax. It's okay. Everyone's in the same boat. We take that pressure off. As long as you can swing the golf club, you're fine. And even if you have a habit of swinging too many times, we have unique rules to take care of that.
Okay.
So if they can't, you know, if let's just keep it at they swing several times. After so many times, they actually just pick up the ball and then bring it to the green, and then they putt from a certain area.
Good.
So it allows them to say, not feel. It's like for the adults, you know, you have that person that loves the game, but sometimes they feel too much pressure because they're playing with somebody that's a very low handicap,
right,
or a very, very good golfer, and they just feel, and then it compounds.
Yep.
Well, we take that pressure off. Say, hey, if somebody, don't worry, just pick it up. You know, everyone's in the same boat. Maybe by the time you pick your ball up, there's another person picking their ball up, and it works out really smooth. There's no pressure.
That's good. So Elizabeth, did you get your dad involved in this tournament?
I didn't. Well, I played it when I was younger.
Okay, did you? All right.
I think I've played it probably about 6 years in a row.
Wow. Okay.
Until I was 16. So I think that's probably how we got introduced to it. I played for a while. I played in the Blue Water. I played everywhere. And so yeah, then he got involved my freshman year of high school, and then he roped me into it. And ever since then, I've been really happy to help out. It's a good volunteer. The kids are always so happy, so it's worth it.
Well, I got to imagine, again, like I said, I mean, I've got grandkids who are involved in the Pine Shores. Dick Groff runs the clinics, which is really very good, and it helps them get to the point where they can swing a golf club. But that opportunity to play some real competitive, by the rules golf is something, as you said, not most kids get to experience at this point.
Correct, right. And be able to do that in a non-pressure.
Yes.
That's not easy to do, but we pull it off.
Excellent, excellent. So talk a little bit more about the specifics of the tournament. I think you mentioned it's August 9th, is that correct?
Yes.
As a Tuesday. What else do people have to know?
Our website's here.
Yep.
That we've had a lot of modernization, if you will. It used to be a little bit confusing. How do I sign up? Where to go? Is word of mouth? Well, what we said is let's just get a website. So I designed a website and got it up and going. But we still, for the pens and paper people,
not easy to say.
Yeah, I try to get entry forms around to the local courses.
Okay.
Mostly at the Pine Shores, they have them stocked, ready to go. So the people that don't want to deal with a website, you can just go down and fill them out, old-fashioned.
Yeah.
And then it's Tuesday the 9th. The tee times start. Typically, our first tee time is about 7:30 in the morning. We pretty much wrap it up 2:30, something like that, and then we go instantly into the press conference, which starts about 3 o'clock.
Okay.
And then by 4 o'clock, we're done, and then we start cleaning up.
So who else is involved in your committee?
Yeah,
obviously there's a lot of work being done.
Dick Groff is kind of like our hands-off overall mentor. He's
Emeritus?
the one. He's the one that started it, and he's tried to back off. I won't let him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Grace Hurley, she's in charge of all the food department, if you will. Elizabeth is in charge of all the volunteers, not only the scorekeepers, but basically the volunteers. We have probably 50 people that we have to round up, and she's in charge of that, which is not an easy job. Then let's see what else. A practice round. We also offer a practice round. So if they want to, before the tournament, within the next, from today till the 8th, they can go down and just say, hey, we're registered, and they have a list at Pine Shores, and they get a practice round. So.
That's very nice. Yeah. All right, so August 9th, a couple weeks here coming up. They got a chance to do a practice round. At the top level, how is the competition? Do we see some pretty good golfers there at the top levels?
Over the years, I'll put it this way. I know of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players that are now collegiate players or have been collegiate players. We have a 10-year-old who we put in the oldest division, and she shot 2 or 3 under par.
Wow.
Yes.
Her driver comes up to here on her, and there's just so many really, really talented kids, but they're playing alongside kids that this is their very first event.
Yep.
And everyone's keeping pace. Everyone's not feeling the pressure.
Yep.
And that's what golf is. If you do it right, it doesn't matter your ability or age. You're competing competitively, and that's the way we try to do it.
Well, this sounds terrific. I'm personally looking forward to seeing it myself. Obviously, we encourage everyone here in St. Clair, and I assume surrounding areas, right?
Yeah, we actually have had people from Spain, from England, from Texas, Florida. I think grandparents are in the area.
Sure, yes.
That kind of thing. But we get them from all over.
That's terrific. Yeah. Well, certainly encourage people to come out. It sounds like a great event. I know I'm going to be there.
Great.
Channel 6, as you mentioned, will be there. We'll do the press conference and make sure we get that online. And again, really appreciate you coming in, talking about this. Sounds like a great event both for the kids as well as St. Clair and Pine Shores,
Yes.
which is, I think, also an important part of this as well.
Yeah, there's, if I could mention one other thing is, we've got, like to mention our sponsors.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Locally, Magna, who switched names this year, or well, it was last year, the group Antolin, I think it's a Spanish name. Myers, Neiman's, and something a little bit special this year is that we were able to get an OEM golf manufacturer, Snell Golf.
Okay.
And this is very cool. The reason why I wanted to have a little blurb on these guys is because for a tournament or a golf tournament, this is just a small little town golf tournament, to get the blessing for a manufacturer of golf equipment to say, use our logo, great, we support you, that is a big deal. There's a lot of tournaments out there that will have names and so forth, but they might not necessarily call that company and say, hey, we want to officially use you. But these guys, this is a great American story. These guys were able to, basically without hardly any prodding, I showed them the website, I explained what we're all about, because I personally like this particular golf ball. These guys are phenomenal. For the golfers out there, the guy that invented the Pro V, the Titleist Professional, the Callaway, what's their tour ball, and then the TaylorMade ball. He invented all these balls. He's got 25 patents, and he said, I'm going to start my own company. So he came out with this ball, and it's the hottest ball, period. And for this company to just say, hey, we're behind you, for us, that's phenomenal.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
St. Clair and Snell, I like it.
Snell Golf, yeah.
All right, well, again, thanks very much for coming in. We look forward to the tournament, and hopefully a great day both for the golfers as well as for your committee.
Yep.
Thanks
great.
again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's it for today, people. Everybody, thanks for coming by, and we'll see you next time on Press Box.